So if you know anything about the cozy gaming space, you have most likely heard of Heartopia. If you don't know, don't worry, I'll try to keep it brief. Heartopia is a pretty basic cozy game, taking inspiration from games like Animal Crossing, Stardew Valley, The Sims, pretty much any staple cozy game. I'd even argue like the big three. Definitely just inspiration all around with this. And there's nothing wrong with taking inspiration from other cozy games, I feel. Games like Fields of Mystria takes a lot of inspiration from Stardew Valley, but its art style, giving a 90s anime Game Boy Advance era type of vibe, really makes it stand out from the crowd. And Stardew Valley was a Harvest Moon-like game originally. It's just Stardew Valley is so popular now, people automatically associate farming games with Stardew Valley. But anyway, I feel like you can really see different elements of those inspirations with this game. I mean, the art style's kind of giving that like typical cozy game, Animal Crossing, trying to get there anyway. Does it nail it? That's kind of arguable. It definitely has a lot of Sims-like elements when it comes to decorating the houses. Again, a little bit of Animal Crossing mixed in there. And of course, you know, farming. We love farming. But I'm gonna give you a brief rundown on what really made Heartopia super popular, made it stand out a little more, and then we're going to get into the handful of controversies around this game. So let's begin with the rise of Heartopia. So Heartopia started to gain the hearts of many back in the fall of 2025. Personally, I started to see the game more frequently through their TikTok advertisements. Some ads would showcase the visuals of Heartopia's world paired with the sounds and the music of the game. This created a very cozy environment, that something you'd expect from like cozy background videos that you'd see on YouTube, things of that nature anyway. Other advertisements were intriguing not just because of pretty visuals, but how Heartopia decided to advertise the game. See, Heartopia's marketing team, or at the very least their social media manager, knew exactly what would make this game click with their target audience, which I like to assume is just, you know, young cozy gamers who are chronically online, love a gorgeous mobile game because the game released on mobile before coming to PC, probably people who play like Roblox, love Animal Crossing. I think you get the vibe. But Heartopia gained millions of likes and views on TikTok alone through their marketing. The most notable ones I'd see are their edits of the game. They have pretty decent edits of the game. I would see these floating around a lot, and most of the comments were stuff like, oh, I hope this is actually what the game looks like. I'd see cinematic trailers. They would be applying TikTok trends to their game, which I always thought was really interesting. I feel like I don't see a lot of games apply like basic TikTok trends with their game, so that was a little interesting, a little unique, you know? They'd have some building tutorials and even day in my life content within Heartopia. But all of this combined just grew like this big fan base online of people just looking forward to the game coming out. So we're going to go into the controversies now. Pretty much, we're gonna start with the shorter controversies that are definitely still worth noting before we get to like the crazier shit. But these are as light as like controversial takes and then just stuff that are iffy, so we'll just get into it. Gacha mechanics and Heartopia's emphasis on addiction. You read that right. The first one is pretty straight to the point. It's a gacha game. Gacha games are very common in the mobile game sphere, so this isn't anything like super absurd. However, many users find gacha systems to be pretty predatory, as it's just a way to get some cash for a free-to-play game. Games like Genshin Impact, Infinity Nikki, you know, all those types of games, have made their mark as popular mobile games with gacha elements. Gacha mechanics are generally controversial because it's gambling. There are many, countless articles, videos, and studies researching the connections to gacha mechanics in gaming with gambling addictions. And related to this, there was a review on Steam on Heartopia's page from February 8th that briefly covered how the game is designed to prey upon and exploit players into coming back to play. And a basic part of game design is to keep players coming back. Like, let's not get it twisted. There's nothing wrong with having a game fun enough to keep you coming back for more. But obviously, this is something that developers can easily exploit if they do it right, like gambling. I'm gonna read this review to you now. It says, warning, this game uses predatory design to create addiction. Variable rewards. You get rewards at random intervals, loot boxes, random drops. This unpredictability hooks your brain's dopamine system like a slot machine. Endless grind and FOMO. There's no natural stopping point. Daily login rewards, battle passes, and limited time events create a fear of missing out to make you play daily. Sunk cost and social traps. You invest time/money into your character and the game, making it harder to quit. Friends list. Friends help you out, you need to help them back, etc. Adds social pressure to stay active. Near misses and illusions of control. This game makes you feel like you're almost there or in control, pushing you to try just one more time to chase a win. Play with extreme caution. These mechanics are designed to exploit psychological vulnerabilities, leading to excessive play and the quote-unquote empty feeling that many reviewers report. This emptiness waked me up after playing the game for 4 weeks with already 101 in-game hours. Again, I want to emphasize a big part of game design is making a system that makes people want to come back, but this is something that can easily be exploited. And what I find most interesting about this review is that this goes simply beyond just the gacha game mechanic. Heartopia includes just about everything an online game can have to draw you in. Limited time events, daily rewards, loot boxes, battle passes. I could go deeper on the psychology behind the rising trend of addiction in gaming and how games can romanticize this mess, but we have way more to talk about regarding Heartopia. I also talked to some people on my Discord server about the gacha mechanics, and some people on my server looked into the gacha rates of the game. I've played gacha games before, but I've never looked into rates or spent money on gacha games, so I'm not super experienced in this. However, you can come to your own conclusion about how these look if you are familiar. We move on to the next controversy, the PC port and its many issues. The PC port of Heartopia has many strange things going on with it. The small controversy with this port is not only does it not have controller support, which in my opinion, this is a game just begging for controller support, but the PC controls are fucking horrendous. I played only a few minutes of Heartopia on PC before closing it because it's just so fucking bad. They feel like they didn't play test the game on PC before porting it over, but you know, whatever. You have to drag and click the mouse to move the camera, which is just a really difficult thing to adapt to if you play other PC games, which most people playing Heartopia on PC have done. You have to click on literally everything that used to just be like a touchscreen button. It's not game breaking, it's not a massive scandal, but that was the small chunk of the PC port. The big chunk though is it requires access to every single device on your local network. There are softwares that require access to devices on your local network, but it is very uncommon for a video game to need all of that access. Here's a Steam review. This game requires access to your local network, and you have to allow XD to connect to any device on your network in order to play. Seems highly invasive of players' privacy for a game. For that reason, I do not recommend this game to others. XD is the developers of Heartopia, and as of writing, it's still pretty unclear why Heartopia specifically needs access to every device. I even found someone on r/cybersecurity help asking about this, and I found a lot of interesting responses that I want to share. This game is so suspicious to me, and I've been surprised more people aren't talking about it. The fact that you have to log in with SSO, plus when I clicked login with Google and it started downloading a .exe and asked to connect to all devices on my network, I canceled the download and deleted the game. I've also heard of people having unauthorized charges from the game, and there's claims about not following safety guidelines for a children's game. After I log in using my Google account, a suspicious pop-up with a vague questionable URL asked to warrant access to all devices connected to my local network too. I blocked that out of habit. Then despite the successful login from the browser, the main game page was still stuck at Google, Apple, and Facebook login instructions permanently. There were 2 links under the browser notification in case the game didn't start properly. One was whatever, perhaps the URL pop-up that I blocked. Another was my browser settings. None of the links were working. I even tried to log in a few times but still failed to run the game afterwards. Since I never got this weird behavior from other game I've played, I uninstalled it. My friend roasted me bad for perhaps being paranoid, but to me it's sus. I would just stop wasting my time on it. It wants to access every device connected to your local network also. Very suspicious from a free-to-play game, from any game at all. I'm avoiding this game publisher entirely. It's just too big of a window to leave open, too risky, especially if you aren't the only person on your network. You're also putting others' data and devices at risk. Not worth it. Not worth it for a game, personally. But I think the important thing is to not give these companies the idea that this is acceptable, because it isn't necessary and it's risky. Also adding that several of my friends are begging me to join, but I just can't. My partner's business is also on our network, and there's just no way I'm risking that. I understand the peer pressure and the FOMO for sure. I'm still enjoying Palia and Dreamlight Valley enough in my game time though. Basically, it's suspicious, it's risky, and most importantly, it makes zero sense. Let's move on. AI generated art and advertisements. Yes, it always comes back to this. First, more ads. Back when Heartopia launched, they started running more ads, as people do to market their games. They started running ad campaigns that pushed the game pretty heavily. This is a very common marketing tactic with video games, but one of these advertisements they ran on TikTok was entirely AI generated. Take a look at this. It's pretty unclear if this advertisement was one of their quote-unquote creator submitted videos, or if this was made by the team behind Heartopia, but either way, this is not a good look. When this advertisement made the rounds, I only ever saw comments complaining about the AI, and a very small handful of creators commented on it, made videos on it, but the game's success kind of buried the topic, and I started to see the ad less and less. However, in March of 2026, a second AI controversy hit Heartopia. Heartopia began using AI-generated artwork in their in-game puzzles. Many users have tried to give Heartopia the benefit of the doubt, stating that they only used AI artwork for this quest, this puzzle, this whatever, but knowing that they also enabled the AI advertisements earlier this year, honestly, I wonder what else there could be that we don't notice, you know? There's not a lot to say about this. It's AI art. We've all heard about how shitty it is. It's lazy. It could have this even could have been created easily by someone, by a real person with human hands. So not only is this just a very lazy attempt to get like some very basic artwork out there, but it's an extremely easy way to just dissolve your fan base. People have opinions on AI, and at least I hope the majority do not like it. At least with video games, I have seen the majority not like it. And also you have to admit it's just ugly. Regardless of your thoughts of AI, this is really ugly art. We move on to racism, side quests, and backtracking. Lastly, for now, as of recording this video, we have come to arguably the worst controversy on this list. I don't even know why I said arguably. This is the worst controversy on this list. The controversy requires a lot more visuals, so we're gonna go over these. Heartopia, notably, does not have many people of color as their NPCs, which encourages conversations in itself. However, Heartopia recently introduced a new questline in their newest update in March. Within this update, you are tasked to give a mushroom to one of the few people of color NPCs in this game. While giving this NPC the mushroom, he then jumps around and makes monkey sounds. Yeah, monkey sounds. He mimics a monkey as a black character. Here's a clip. Your face racism I've ever seen in a cozy game. Now, I've not seen many people defend this. Thankfully, I've not seen many people defend this. I've seen some other players kind of curious. They're just like, oh, they already removed this, but so like, why are people still upset? But at the same time, I feel like they immediately removed this, by the way, but you know, it's a little too late. People have their opinions. I feel like this being added at all is a little telling. I don't particularly even see how this could be lost in translation. There should be people approving this, and if someone approved this, you know, that's crazy. But we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. Let's see the people's reaction to this. Softest Fairy on Twitter says, OMFG, get Heartopia the fuck off my feed. Their generative AI usage was enough for me to never have interest in that game. But then they have a cutscene of their black NPC hopping around and making monkey noises. Who the fuck are the devs behind that ugly ass game? Heartopia has begun deleting any mentions of this questline. Any concerns, any conversations, even something remotely related will get deleted if it is on their socials and their Discord servers. Oh my god, the Discord server is fucking ablaze right now. Twitter user Let's Play K, who I got that clip from, made very great comments about it, and I'm gonna read this to you. I decided to post this here and tag them because my comments and thoughts on this issue cannot be deleted or controlled by them. Comparing POC to animals has been used forever to dehumanize us and justify slavery and every other atrocity that happened and continues to happen today. As a black woman myself, this is so deeply disturbing and unacceptable. Moving forward, I will not be playing, streaming, or sharing any content on Heartopia. I'm so disappointed because this game was a lot of fun and a great way for me to connect with my community. However, there are so many amazing games releasing this year, and as disappointing as it is, it's an easy decision for me to move on and play games that respect and value all people. I feel like Let's Play K described this better than I could have. Mistake or not, this is not something that should have ever gotten the okay. This is not something that should be normalized. Heartopia should not just expect players to look past this mistake as large as this. I don't even like calling it a mistake, but that's what they claim it was. So here are some more comments of people discussing this that I want to show. To add insult to injury, the upcoming quote-unquote hip-hop pet clothing includes a ski mask and a bandana. Oh, sorry, that says banana. Huh. They keep saying they weren't aware of the racism, but come on. A banana? I'm sorry, I misread it as bandana. That's crazy. Someone said, WTF, this is so disturbing and it angers me. I'm a black woman and I hate seeing stuff like this. I was going to download Heartopia. The main reason I didn't download the game in the first place was because I heard it's expensive to buy items, but now I am definitely not playing this game. I am sick of this shit, thank you. Like I said before, Heartopia has removed this quest line and they made a response, which I'm gonna read it. You form your own opinion, but I'm gonna discuss mine. Ahem. Statement. An apology concerning specific in-game action. This was sent to their Discord server, by the way, for those just listening. It has come to our attention that certain players have raised concerns and criticisms regarding the conduct of Kapil, the in-game NPC, following an incident in which he inadvertently consumed a poison mushroom in Heartopia. The initial intent behind Kapil's reaction was to accurately depict the symptoms of dizziness and loss of bodily control resulting from poisoning. We have since promptly removed this action. We sincerely apologize to anyone who might have felt offended. We appreciate the feedback that brought this matter to our attention. Moving forward, we will take this incident as a learning opportunity and strive to promote an inclusive and congenial environment within Heartopia. We extend our deepest apologies once again. I want to repeat that they said this was supposed to depict symptoms of dizziness and loss of bodily control. Where? I don't even see how that would have been the case. I couldn't find the comment, but I did see someone say, I've taken shrooms and I've never mimicked a monkey. But in my opinion, this just seems like damage control. This seems like a little bit of backtracking. This does not seem like what actually happened, and it just looks like they needed a quick response so that they don't lose the hard-earned money that they're gaining from this game. It just doesn't feel genuine. In my opinion, of course, form your own opinions, right? There are probably people that find this a lot more serious and a lot of people that don't understand why this feels so serious. But again, this just does not seem like the actual answer, nor does it feel like the response that they should have given. More notably, they didn't comment on how this was not intended to be racist. It feels, and I say this just because I've seen people say that they're not in the loop and they just saw it on the server. It feels like this was a response for people who did not already know about it so that they won't find out about it, and they just read this response and they're just like, oh well, I don't know what they're talking about, but looks like it was already resolved. Or maybe I'm just looking too much into this, you know? Maybe I'm woke. Let's look at some people's thoughts on this response, though. We have Ryu online on Threads, who said, "I'm so dead. I just got this ping from Heartopia apologizing after people called them out for being racist after making their black character act like a monkey, and they're trying to say that it came from dizziness and lack of bodily control." God, I can't get over that. This is gonna be a yikes a yikes on trikes for me. Yikes on trikes is a funny saying. I like that. Anyway, Zero Suit Henny on Twitter said, "When you speak out on the Discord, this happened this morning, and it just shows that they were muted for 3 days on the server for inciting drama about a situation that was already handled / disrespect." I don't know what they said, but situation already handled is crazy when this is still fresh as hell. These tweets of the quest are still circulating. You can't just do something insanely racist and expect it to go away. It's like I'm watching a freaking YouTuber drama where the YouTuber was caught saying something racist, and then they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm a better person now." And then they automatically think it's okay. This is like how James Charles keeps getting away with shit when he shouldn't. Is that too far? I'm not a drama channel. This is actually the first video game I'm covering on this channel because I just cover like tech controversies. Not even. This is terrible, is what I'm trying to. You probably get the point. This is freaking awful. And I don't think it takes a genius to point out that they are not going to easily recover from this. There were already struggles with being all around inclusive in cozy games. I see many cozy gamer girls who make content on new cozy games. I can't think of their name. If I find their name, I will link it, but she does like, is this game black girl friendly? And if it has like different hairstyles, different character designs, you know, just like seeing if the inclusivity is there. And Heartopia already was a little bit iffy with just the basics of the character design and the NPCs. So them thinking that this is going to, you know, just kind of go away, it just won't. On top of all of these other, like, smaller, I don't know, I feel like a lot of this stuff is stuff that can also be, like, up for conversation about Heartopia. But, you know, like, all these other controversies that we have covered leading up to this mistake, this accidental portrayal of a black character mimicking a monkey. I just don't think that that's a good way to go. I don't think that's a good way to go. I feel like someone should have just like seen this coming, saw this coming a mile away. And in general, I'm not a fan of people that are like, or like when someone gets canceled and they're like, "I always knew they were the problem." But I always felt like Heartopia didn't feel as polished as it seemed back when it was gaining popularity before it came out. It didn't feel quite ready for release, at least like especially the PC port. It had a lot of nice elements. It's free to play. It has a nice art style. It's accessible for people to play, but unfortunately I just feel like there's a lot of things. I feel like we might find out more about Heartopia in the future, and I really hate to see more stains on the cozy game genre. I feel like there's so many. But as of March 8th, 2026, that is all of the controversial things I could find about Heartopia. Actually, it's been like an hour since I've recorded this part of the video, and I've just been scrolling on Twitter. I was about to go eat. However, I found out a little bit more is going down with the community of Heartopia regarding racism. Apparently, there has been a massive influx of players. Hold on, let me bring up the Reddit post. This is a post on r/cozy games discussing the racism of Heartopia, and alongside the questline they mentioned, there has been an onslaught of troll players joining the game trying to wear blackface when these level 1 players were reported appropriately through the game, or through the in-game support system, sorry. They get banned for at least this person says inciting drama. So kind of like what they get banned for on the Discord server, inciting a drama for a thing that was already solved. So users are seeing racism in Heartopia from players, and they're getting banned for reporting racism. On top of that, someone actually has a screenshot of these level 1 players going through their garden. God, I don't even want to read this. And I quote, "I was shocked and horrified when these two people came to my house dressed like this, spent minutes acting like they were gardening my crops or picking them or whatever, and laughing about it using the laughing emote. When I clicked on their profiles to report them, their pictures showed two girls that did not usually look like that. I added one of them just to tell them that I thought it was super disrespectful, but I'm still in shock that people are using Heartopia like this. As a person of color, I feel super disheartened and sad for the community. I hope Heartopia looks into my report and does something about this." So, at least from these posts, so I guess I have to say allegedly because I don't see any proof. Allegedly, Heartopia is practically enabling racism beyond their questline mistake. Back to the original Cozy Games post, it says everyone who spoke up, including people of everyone who spoke up, including people of color, simply giving advice or expressing concern, received 7-day mutes or bans related to not respecting the rules. They then go on to mention people getting charged for things they didn't pay for, not even getting refunds when contacted, and many more things similar to things I've already mentioned. So this is very bad. Very bad. I saw people mention that there is a small handful of streamers on the Heartopia Discord server that are also very racist people. They've reposted just racist posts. They've said the N-word on Twitter, a lot of stuff related to that. And while obviously the Heartopia community itself is not racist, it does seem like there are a good chunk of bad apples in the Heartopia community, which is always like super unfortunate to see. But I did want to quickly bring this up because I just saw it on the internet, and Heartopia basically enabling this by banning the people who are reporting racism allegedly is very bad. This is very much not a good look. And again, it just further emphasizes my feelings on their response to the cutscene seeming like damage control rather than a genuine, "we're sorry, we don't know how this got by, we're not racist." You know, they were just like, "Oh, you guys misunderstood this, but we'll remove it since you guys don't like it," kind of response. At least in my opinion, you know, allegedly. I'm just baffled. And we even have photo proof of players doing this in people's gardens. It's just so crazy to me. However, I'm curious to see how they're going to bounce back from the racist quest. As you know, they've already removed it, or they've replaced the animation with something else as far as I've seen. I've even seen some people make the argument of like, why is this character even doing shrooms in the first place? There's a lot of questionable things. However, that is all I have for you today. Some people watching this video might have already read this deep dive on my Substack. I'm not trying to promote it or anything. I'm just telling you that I did already make this an article on Substack before posting, so it can kind of be like my backbone for the video. I went through pretty much everything. This is kind of just like the video version of my article, but I do want to say thank you to those who did check out the article before I made this video. That is very nice. However, I would really love to know your guys' thoughts on Heartopia. I hope that if you were drawing while listening to this video, I hope your drawing turned out great. If you were eating a nice meal, I hope your meal was delicious. And if you were doing chores, I hope you got your chores done, because I gotta go get my chores done. This is me procrastinating. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it was informative for those who weren't exactly in the know. Someone told me to get a pop filter in my last video, and my DJI mic was not connecting to my laptop, so I just tied the noise suppressor onto my MacBook mic. And I will see you guys later for another video. Bye bye!